Hey there, welcome back. I'm Johnny Hughes. Let's talk about something real today. You've got a habit you hate. Maybe you scroll your phone for hours. Maybe you stress eat. Maybe you procrastinate until the last minute. You've tried to stop. You really have. But every time you try to quit cold turkey, you end up right back where you started. Here's why. You can't just delete a bad habit. Your brain doesn't work that way. But you can replace it. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. One clear problem, one clear solution. Let's get into it. Here's the problem in plain English. Your brain runs on autopilot most of the time. Scientists say about 40 to 50% of what you do every day isn't a conscious choice. It's a habit. That's actually a good thing because it saves energy. Your brain doesn't want to think about every single action. So it creates shortcuts. See, trigger, do behavior, get reward, over and over until it becomes automatic. The problem is, your brain can't tell the difference between a good shortcut and a bad one. It just knows. This action gives me something I want right now. So when you're stressed, you reach for your phone. When you're bored, you grab junk food. When you're anxious, you bite your nails. It happens before you even think about it. This is called the habit loop. Every habit has three parts. First, there's a cue, the trigger that starts the habit. It could be a time of day, an emotion, a location, or even another person. Second, there's the routine, the actual behavior, the thing you do. Third, there's the reward, whatever your brain gets from doing that behavior. Could be comfort, distraction, energy, or just something to do. Your brain links these three things together so tightly that when you see the cue, your body starts doing the routine before your conscious mind even catches up. That's why it feels so hard to stop. You're not fighting a choice, you're fighting a pattern that's been carved into your brain. Now, when most people try to break a bad habit, they focus all their energy on the routine, the behavior itself. They say, I'm just going to stop doing this. And they use willpower, pure willpower. For a few days, maybe even a few weeks, it works. But then something happens. A stressful day, a bad night's sleep, a moment of weakness, and boom, the habit comes roaring back. Why? Because willpower runs out. It's like a battery that drains throughout the day, and when it's empty, your brain goes right back to autopilot, back to the old pattern. This is not a character flaw, this is just how brains work. You can't willpower your way out of a habit that's been years in the making. You know this feeling, you're doing fine, and then you crack, and you feel terrible about it. You think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just stop? But here's what you need to understand. Nothing is wrong with you. You're just using the wrong strategy. You can't delete a habit, but you can replace it. And that changes everything. Here's the solution. Instead of trying to stop the bad habit, you're going to keep the cue and the reward the same, but swap out the routine. You're going to replace the bad behavior with a better one that gives you a similar reward. Let me show you what this looks like in real life. Let's say you have a habit of scrolling social media every time you feel bored. The cue is boredom. The routine is scrolling. The reward is mental stimulation, something to occupy your mind. If you just try to stop scrolling, you're left with the boredom and no reward. Your brain hates that. It's going to pull you right back to the phone. But what if instead, when you feel bored, you pick up a book, or do 10 push-ups, or text a friend? These are different routines, but they can give you a similar reward, mental stimulation, a break from boredom. Your brain gets what it wants, but through a better behavior. That's replacement. And it works because you're working with your brain, not against it. Here's how you actually do this. Step 1. Identify your bad habits cue. This takes some detective work. For the next few days, every time you do the habit, write down what happened right before. What time was it? Where were you? Who were you with? What emotion were you feeling? After a few days, you'll see a pattern. Maybe you always reach for snacks at 3 p.m. when your energy crashes. Maybe you always check your phone right after you wake up. Maybe you bite your nails whenever you feel anxious. Once you see the pattern, you found your cue. Step 2. Identify the reward. What is your brain actually getting from this habit? This is important because the replacement behavior needs to give you a similar reward or your brain won't accept it. So ask yourself, am I doing this for comfort, for energy, for distraction, for social connection? Be honest, there's no judgment here. Your brain wants what it wants. We're just trying to figure out what that is so we can give it a healthier option. Step 3, choose your replacement behavior. This is the new routine. It should be easy to do, give you a similar reward, and ideally be something you actually want to be doing. If you're replacing mindless scrolling, your new behavior might be reading 5 pages of a book. If you're replacing stress eating, it might be taking a 5-minute walk or doing breathing exercises. If you're replacing nail biting, it might be squeezing a stress ball or doing a quick stretch. The key is that it has to satisfy the same need your bad habit was satisfying. Notice something important here. These people aren't using willpower to resist. They're redirecting. When the cue shows up, they don't fight it. They just channel that energy into a different routine. That's why this works when willpower doesn't. You're not stopping the momentum. You're steering it in a better direction. Now, I'm going to be straight with you. This won't be perfect on day 1. Your brain is going to resist at first, because the old habit is familiar and the new one isn't. You might forget, you might slip up. You might do the old habit without even noticing. That's normal. This is a process, not a light switch. But here's what changes. Instead of beating yourself up and giving up, you just notice it and try again. Every time you catch the cue and do the new routine instead of the old one, you're weakening the old pathway and strengthening the new one. It's like creating a new trail through the forest. At first, it's hard to walk through, but the more you walk it, the clearer it becomes. Eventually, it becomes the path your brain takes automatically. Research shows it takes about 2 months, 66 days on average, for a new behavior to become automatic. That might sound like a long time, but think about it this way. 66 days from now is going to come whether you start today or not. You can be 2 months older with the same bad habits, or you can be 2 months older with better ones. The time's going to pass either way. You might as well use it. Here's what I want you to understand. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not lacking discipline. You just have patterns that aren't serving you anymore. And patterns can be changed, not through force, not through shame, not through trying harder with the same broken strategy, but through replacement, through working with how your brain actually functions. And when you do it this way, something amazing happens. You stop fighting yourself. You stop feeling like you're constantly resisting temptation, because you're not resisting, you're redirecting. And that feels completely different. Imagine this. You feel the old cue. Stress, boredom, anxiety, whatever it is. But instead of reaching for the thing that makes you feel worse later, you automatically do something that makes you feel better. Not because you forced yourself. Not because you used every ounce of willpower, but because that's just what you do now. That's your new normal, your new autopilot. And on the other side of that shift, you're living a life where your daily actions actually align with who you want to be, where your habits support your goals instead of sabotaging them, where you're not constantly at war with yourself. That's the life this system creates, and it's completely available to you starting today. Here's your assignment. Right now, today, pick one bad habit, just one. Write down the cue, the routine, and the reward. Then choose one replacement behavior. Start tomorrow. When you see the cue, do the new routine. Don't aim for perfection, just aim for practice. Track it. Mark an X on your calendar every day you do the replacement instead of the old habit, and watch what happens over the next 2 months. You're not going to believe how different you feel. You have more control than you think. Not through force, but through strategy. Not by fighting your brain, but by understanding it. Bad habits aren't permanent, they're just patterns. And patterns can be rewritten. One replacement at a time, one day at a time, one choice at a time. Thanks for being here today. Remember, you can't delete a bad habit, but you can replace it. And that's all you need to do. Start with one. See what happens. I believe in you. Until next time, stay consistent, stay patient with yourself, and keep moving toward the person you want to become. See you soon.